Every dream you have, every goal you whisper in the quiet of the night, every vision that burns behind your eyes is not a promise. It is a mirror. The universe doesn't hand you what you want simply because you wish for it. It hands you what you have become. Life is not a vending machine for desires. It is a reflection, a response, a cold and honest echo of who you are when no one is watching. You can want wealth. You can want freedom. You can want power, success, respect, love, peace. But wanting is not becoming. And it is not the one who wants who shapes history. It is the one who transforms. The one who becomes. Desire is cheap. Everyone wants something. Billions wake up wanting more. But the world doesn't bend for want. It bends for those who are willing to rise from the ashes of comfort, burn away their excuses, and shape themselves into the kind of person who can hold what they ask for. Think of Thomas Edison, sitting in a dark room with nothing but failure after failure stacked like stones around him. He didn't get the light bulb because he wanted it. He became the man who could endure 1,000 defeats and still stand tall. Think of Henry Ford, mocked for imagining a world where the common man drove a machine instead of a horse. He didn't get Ford Motor Company because he wished for it. He became the man who could turn mockery into fuel. Think of Abraham Lincoln, ridiculed, beaten by politics, defeated by war. He didn't hold a nation together because he wanted to. He became a force stronger than division. This is the hidden law. Life doesn't give you what you dream about. It gives you what your character can carry. And here's the truth most people run from. Wanting is easy. Becoming is hard. Becoming means tearing down the weak parts of yourself, the habits that hold you hostage, the fears that whisper lies in your ear, the voices that tell you to stay the same. Becoming means long nights with no applause. It means choosing discipline when comfort is begging. It means walking alone while everyone else is at the party. It means losing the version of you that dreams small, so the version of you that commands reality can take its place. People speak of success like it's a destination, as if one day they'll walk down a road, open a door, and step into their dream. But success isn't a place. It's a shape. And the only way through the door is to grow into the shape that fits. If you are asking for the life of a lion, but you think like a sheep, the door will not open. If you desire the power of kings, but you wake like the powerless, speak like the powerless, act like the powerless, the crown will stay locked away. The gap between what you want and what you have is not distance. It's transformation. Most people are trapped because they want without becoming. They scream at the world, "Give me more," but they refuse to change who they are. They demand the mountain move, but they never take the first step. They chase shortcuts, cheat time, and expect the reward of warriors without the blood of battle. And when the world does not bend, they call it unfair. But the truth is brutal and beautiful. The world is fair to those who are willing to transform. This is why the few rise. They stop begging the world to give. They start building themselves to receive. They understand that you don't get to hold greatness with the hands of mediocrity. You must forge new hands. Stronger hands. Disciplined hands. There was a boy who dreamed of changing everything. He was poor, nameless, faceless in a world that ignored the small. But instead of wishing for a better life, he learned. He worked. He read. He trained. He rebuilt his mind until it became sharper than the noise around him. That boy became Andrew Carnegie, not because he wanted to be great, but because he became someone greatness could not ignore. Your dream is not a prize waiting on a shelf. It is a locked door, and your current self does not hold the key. The key is forged in sweat, in discipline, in persistence, in every small decision that no one claps for. The key is who you become. Ask yourself this with ruthless honesty. Who are you becoming? When the world is silent, when no one is watching, when the lights are off and the comfort of sleep whispers your name, what kind of person are you building in that quiet? Because that person is the one who determines your destiny, not the dreamer that speaks when it's easy. Wanting is cheap. Becoming is expensive. It will cost you the version of yourself that settles. It will cost you your comfort, your laziness, your distractions. It will cost you friendships that feed weakness. It will cost you nights of ease. But it will give you something far greater, power. Not power over others. Power over yourself. Power over your fear. Power over your doubt. Power over your future. Every great life you've ever admired was built in the hidden hours. The world saw the glory, but not the fire. They saw the mountain peak, but not the bleeding hands that climbed. They saw the speech, not the sleepless nights. They saw the victory, not the bruises. And that's what fools people. They believe they can have what others have without becoming what others became. But history is not written by wishers. It's written by builders. Look at Walt Disney. Fired for lacking imagination. Bankrupt. Broken. Rejected. But instead of surrendering to the story the world wrote for him, he wrote his own. He became the man who could hold a dream big enough to make the world believe in magic. Look at Oprah Winfrey. Humiliated. Told she wasn't fit for television. She didn't ask the world to change its mind. She became the woman who made the world listen. Look at Steve Jobs. Cast out of his own company. He didn't drown in want. He became sharper, wiser, deadlier with vision. And the world bowed to his return. They didn't get what they wanted. They became. And the world had no choice but to reflect their transformation. You must stop asking for life to give you more. You must demand more of yourself. If you want strength, you must become strength. If you want success, you must become discipline. If you want freedom, you must become responsible. If you want power, you must become relentless. The law is simple and eternal. You do not get what you want. You get what you become. Your habits are not small things. They are your sculptors. Every morning you wake up late, every moment you surrender to distraction, every excuse you feed, you are shaping a future you will regret. But every day you rise with purpose, every hour you invest in mastery, every step you take with conviction, you are shaping a future that will shake the ground you walk on. You don't need to see the entire staircase. You just need to become the kind of person who climbs it. People wait for confidence to act, but confidence is born from action. They wait for the right time, but time bends for those who move. They wait for everything to align, but alignment is the result of discipline. Think of fire. It doesn't ask permission to burn. It consumes what it touches. It transforms everything around it into heat, into energy, into power. That is what belief and discipline do when they live inside a person. They burn away hesitation. They burn away doubt. They burn away the version of you that only wants. And in its place stands the version of you that takes. The day you understand this law is the day your life stops drifting. When you stop wishing for strength and start becoming unbreakable. When you stop wishing for success and start becoming someone success cannot deny. When you stop wishing for greatness and start shaping yourself into its living form. You don't get the dream because you talk about it. You get it because you become the dream. This is why so few rise. Because most people love the idea of success, but they hate the cost. They love the sound of victory, but they shrink from the silence of the climb. They love the crown, but they reject the forge. But those who rise, they understand something deeper. They understand that the crown does not fit weak heads. They understand that the throne does not welcome the unprepared. They understand that their identity must match their destiny. And they build themselves, layer by layer, brick by brick, through pain, through silence, through relentless devotion. This is your reminder, you are not waiting for your dream. Your dream is waiting for you to grow into it. When you finally accept that wanting is not enough, something inside you shifts. The world stops feeling like an enemy, and you realize it was never against you. It was simply waiting for you to rise. Life isn't handing out gifts at random. It's not a lottery. It's a forge. And only those who step inside the fire come out with something worth keeping. Every great story begins with a transformation. A weak mind becomes unbreakable. A dreamer becomes a builder. A follower becomes a leader. And every transformation begins not with luck but with a decision. A moment where a person looks at their reflection and says, "This version of me will not carry me to the future I want." That single moment is where destiny starts to turn. This is the moment Abraham Lincoln had when he stood alone, facing a nation tearing itself apart. He was not born a legend. He became one because he decided that his belief in unity was stronger than the fear of war. This was the moment Thomas Edison faced every time failure mocked him. He decided to become the man who would not bow to darkness. This was the moment Henry Ford chose to stand when experts called him a fool. He decided to become a visionary when the world only saw a mechanic. That moment is waiting for you. A quiet moment when no one else will understand the fire burning inside you. No applause, no spotlight, no fanfare. Just a whisper in your soul that says, "It's time to become more." But that whisper is a dangerous thing. Because the moment you answer it, your old self will fight back. Your habits will resist. Your doubts will scream. Your fears will claw at you like chains refusing to let go. Transformation is not gentle. It is war. A war between who you are and who you are meant to be. This is why most never become. Because they run from the fire. They choose the comfort of what they know over the pain of growth. But understand this. Comfort is the graveyard of greatness. No empire was ever built by those who chose ease over evolution. If you want to become the kind of person your dream demands, you must build discipline like a blade, sharp, unforgiving, precise. Discipline is the line between wishing and winning. It's not about feeling good. It's about showing up when your body aches, your mind doubts, and your soul wants to run. Discipline is what transforms belief into results. Every morning you rise when no one else does, you are not just waking up. You are declaring war on the old version of you. Every hour spent in focused work while the world chases distractions, you are sharpening your edge. Every time you choose sacrifice over comfort, your belief grows teeth. Discipline is not glamorous, but it is unstoppable. When Andrew Carnegie built his empire, it wasn't with luck. It was built with relentless discipline. While others slept, he read. While others complained, he built. While others doubted, he executed. And the world eventually bowed to the man he became. People look at legends and think they were chosen. No. They chose themselves. They stood in the same storms you face. They heard the same voices telling them to quit. The difference? They kept walking. Discipline will not always feel like power. At first, it will feel like sacrifice. Like carrying a weight too heavy. But every rep makes you stronger. Every sacrifice forges a new layer of steel inside you. And one day, you'll look back and realize the weight you once feared is the strength you now carry. But discipline alone is not enough. You must have clarity. You cannot become what you cannot see. A warrior without a target swings wildly into the dark. A visionary without a vision becomes a wanderer. Clarity gives your belief direction, and direction turns chaos into progress. Close your eyes and ask yourself, not what do I want, but who must I become to hold it? What does the person who lives that dream look like? How do they speak? How do they move? How do they think? How do they show up in the world? This is not imagination. This is blueprint. The mind is powerful beyond measure. If you give it a clear image, it begins to shape everything around you to match it. That's why great leaders see their future long before it exists. Walt Disney saw castles and laughter in swamps. Henry Ford saw highways in a world of horse carriages. Steve Jobs saw glowing screens in a world of buttons and wires. The average person looks at the world and accepts it. The extraordinary look at the world and rewrite it. They don't just ask for more. They become more. Clarity does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who dare to look deeper. Strip away the noise of the world, the opinions, the distractions. Ask yourself the hardest questions. What do I truly want? Why does it matter to me? What am I willing to sacrifice for it? What must I become? This is the crucible. Because clarity will not always show you a path paved with gold. Sometimes, it will show you how much you must bleed. It will show you what must be left behind. It will show you the storms waiting for you. But those who stare at the storm and keep walking are the ones the world remembers. And here's the most powerful thing about becoming. Once you change, the world can't take it away from you. A fortune can be stolen. Fame can fade. Opportunities can close. But the person you become, the strength you forge, the mind you build, the belief you breathe, that is untouchable. That is your real wealth. The greatest lie is that success is about external rewards. It's not. It's about internal power. It's about looking in the mirror and recognizing a person you once only imagined. There will be nights when you will want to stop. When the noise of doubt will drown out your fire. When your vision feels far and your hands are tired. But those nights are not the end. They are the test. The universe doesn't reward those who wish. It rewards those who endure. You will not always feel strong. But strength is not a feeling. It's a decision. A decision to keep moving even when it hurts. A decision to rise when everything pushes you down. A decision to believe in the unseen. The world doesn't give crowns to those who simply dream. It gives crowns to those who build themselves into kings. And the truth is this: the door to your next level will not open for the person you are now. It will open for the person you are becoming. That is why the pain of growth exists. That is why discipline burns. Because the fire is forging your key. The day will come when you will thank yourself for not quitting. The day will come when the weight you carried becomes the strength that carries you. The day will come when what you once imagined will stand before you in reality. Not because you wanted it, but because you became it. There comes a point in every person's journey where desire turns into purpose. It is a quiet moment. No cameras. No applause. Just a voice deep within that says, "This is why I was born." Purpose is the compass that keeps your steps steady when the world shakes. Without it, even strong belief eventually drifts. But with it, even the smallest spark can light up an empire. Purpose is the difference between a wanderer and a warrior. A wanderer wants to find a path. A warrior walks with one. A wanderer chases motivation. A warrior moves with conviction. Motivation is fragile. It fades like morning mist. But purpose is fire. It burns through storms. Look at the lives of giants. Abraham Lincoln did not fight to become famous. He fought to unite a nation that was tearing itself apart. Thomas Edison didn't spend years failing to build a light bulb for applause. He did it because he believed humanity deserved to conquer the dark. Andrew Carnegie did not rise from poverty to wealth for trophies. He built industries because he believed opportunity should not belong only to the elite. Purpose is what carried them when their hands bled, when their plans broke, when their nights felt endless. Purpose gives meaning to pain. Without purpose, pain is unbearable. With purpose, pain becomes fuel. A storm is just noise to someone who knows where they are going. When your purpose is clear, obstacles lose their teeth. They stop being walls and become weights, the kind that make you stronger. But purpose is not found in comfort. It's uncovered in silence. In the hours when the world is asleep, and your soul asks, "Why are you here?" It's born in the places where fear lives. If you want to know your purpose, look at what keeps you awake at night. Look at what burns in your chest when everything else grows quiet. That's the spark. And if you dare to feed it, it will turn into a fire that guides your entire life. But once purpose is found, something else becomes inevitable. Resistance. The moment you decide to live for something greater than yourself, the world will test you. People will doubt you. Circumstances will shake you. Plans will fall apart. And this is where most people break, not because they lack strength, but because they didn't understand that resistance isn't the enemy. Resistance is the forge. No blade becomes sharp without pressure. No tree grows tall without wind. No human becomes unstoppable without adversity. The strongest version of you will be born in the storm you thought would destroy you. When Henry Ford built his vision, experts called him insane. When Walt Disney pitched his dreams, doors slammed in his face. When Oprah Winfrey tried to rise, the world told her she wasn't enough. Every great purpose is tested. Every giant meets their storm. What separates the great from the forgotten is their ability to adapt. Adaptability is not weakness. It is power. A rigid branch breaks in a storm. But a flexible one bends, survives, and grows taller. The person who clings to their plan will crumble when the wind changes. The person who clings to their purpose and adapts their steps will outlast everyone. You may start with one vision, and life may break it apart. Let it. Because if your purpose is real, you will rebuild it again and again, sharper, stronger, wiser. Edison's first ideas failed. Ford's first designs collapsed. Disney's dreams were rejected. But they adapted. They adjusted their grip. They found another way. Adaptation is the weapon of those who refuse to surrender. It says, "You can break my plans, but not my purpose." And when the world sees that kind of resilience, it eventually bows. But there's a power even deeper than purpose and adaptability: gratitude. Gratitude is the anchor that keeps your heart steady when the winds of success start to blow. Many people can endure hardship. Few can endure triumph. Success is louder than failure. It blinds more than pain does. It makes some forget why they started. But gratitude protects you from becoming the very thing you fought against. It keeps you grounded when the crowd screams your name. It reminds you of the dark rooms where no one believed. It whispers, "You built this, but you were never alone." Gratitude turns victory into legacy. Andrew Carnegie gave back his fortune because he never forgot where he began. Abraham Lincoln led with humility because he never forgot the broken roads he walked. Thomas Edison never stopped inventing because gratitude kept his hunger alive. Gratitude is not weakness, it's clarity. It's seeing your blessings without letting them blind you. And when you mix purpose with adaptability and gratitude, you create something unshakable. You become the kind of person who can face anything. Not because the world is kind, but because your foundation is stronger than its storms. Still, there is another fire, the fire of resilience. Purpose points you forward. Discipline keeps you moving. Adaptability helps you shift. Gratitude keeps you balanced. But resilience is what makes sure you don't break. Resilience is born in the nights when no one claps, in the mornings when no one sees, in the long days when results are nowhere to be found. It's born in heartbreak, in rejection, in failure. Every time you get back up, a layer of steel wraps around your spirit. When Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times, he didn't lose. He was building resilience. When Abraham Lincoln lost election after election, he wasn't falling. He was becoming unbreakable. When Henry Ford faced bankruptcy, he wasn't ruined. He was sharpening his fire. Resilience is the bridge between who you are and who you must become. It's the invisible muscle that carries the weight of your destiny. And it's not built through ease. It's built through trials that make others quit. Every rejection you face, every failure you endure, every heartbreak you survive is not wasted. It's adding weight to your soul, making it stronger, making you harder to bend. One day, the storm that once scared you will be the storm you command. People will ask, "How did you do it?" And you will smile. Because you'll know the truth. They see the crown, but they don't see the climb. They see the light, but not the years in the dark. This is the law of becoming. It does not reward the impatient. It rewards the relentless. Those who keep walking when their legs ache. Those who keep building when the world doubts. Those who keep believing when the voice of fear is louder than the crowd. Because here is the brutal, beautiful truth. No one can stop you from becoming except you. Not your past. Not your circumstances. Not your enemies. Not your mistakes. If you choose to rise, no power can keep you down. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You need to believe in the fire that's already inside you. You need to feed it with purpose, sharpen it with discipline, steady it with gratitude, and protect it with resilience. And when you do, the world will have no choice but to reflect what you've become. One day, if you choose to keep walking through the fire, the world will stop questioning you. It will stop doubting you. It will stop laughing at you. Because it will no longer be able to ignore what you've become. There is a point in every great journey where belief hardens into power, where purpose burns so hot it cannot be extinguished, where the whispers of doubt become nothing but background noise. That is the point where the world begins to move around you, not because it pities you, but because it respects what you've built within yourself. That's the place Abraham Lincoln reached when a nation that once mocked him finally followed his voice. That's the place Thomas Edison reached when darkness bowed before his light. That's the place Andrew Carnegie reached when poverty that once defined him became a distant echo. That's the place Walt Disney reached when the same world that called him a fool paid to live inside his imagination. That's the place Oprah Winfrey reached when the world that told her she wasn't enough built its stage around her. These weren't gods. They weren't superhumans. They were simply people who refused to remain who they were. They walked through fire. They let their fear burn. They rebuilt themselves in silence. They carried the weight when no one saw. And when they emerged, they didn't have to shout. Their existence spoke louder than their words ever could. This is the truth you must burn into your bones. The world does not reward wishes. It rewards transformation. The world does not give crowns to those who sit at the edge of the arena. It gives them to those who bleed inside it. Every single day you choose to become more than yesterday, you shift the ground beneath your feet. Every small act of discipline, every quiet moment of persistence, every lonely night of work, it all adds up. And one day, those small steps turn into something unshakable. The person who starts the journey is never the same one who finishes it. The weak become strong. The hesitant become bold. The unseen become unstoppable. You don't get what you want. You become something so powerful that the world gives way. But this path is not for everyone. It never has been. Most people will stop long before they arrive. They will give up when it hurts. They will fold when they are alone. They will run back to the comfort of wanting, because wanting costs nothing. Becoming costs everything. But if you are one of the few who keep going, the few who choose the storm instead of the shelter, the few who take the hits and keep standing, you will build a life others only talk about. This is what Napoleon Hill meant when he wrote that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Not because dreams magically fall into your hands, but because when you believe deeply enough to become, you earn them. You forge them. The truth is, most people chase the fruit without ever growing the tree. They want the reward without the roots. But the wise know, the tree grows from the inside first. No one sees the roots spreading beneath the surface. No one applauds the silent work. But without those roots, no tree survives the storm. Your roots are your discipline, your belief, your purpose, your resilience. The world above may look calm, but real strength is built below, in the places no one will ever see. And one day, when the storm comes, and it will, those with shallow roots will fall. But you will stand. When you build from the inside out, the world loses its power to break you. Rejection becomes redirection. Failure becomes instruction. Pain becomes fuel. Doubt becomes noise. You no longer live chasing results. You live becoming the kind of person for whom results are inevitable. That's what unstoppable truly means. Not someone who never stumbles. Not someone who never fears. It means someone who keeps becoming, faster than the world can throw obstacles. Someone who builds so much power inside that no outside force can cage them again. This is why belief is not a small thing. It's not positive thinking. It's the foundation of everything. A person who believes becomes dangerous to failure itself. A person with purpose becomes a force. A person with discipline becomes unmovable. A person with resilience becomes untouchable. And a person with all four becomes inevitable. Inevitable. That word should burn inside your chest. Because that is what this journey is about. Not hoping. Not wishing. Not waiting. Becoming inevitable. A storm that cannot be ignored. A fire that cannot be put out. A mind so sharp that excuses shatter on contact. And when you reach that point, something even more powerful happens. You stop living just for yourself. You begin to shape the world around you. Greatness is not meant to be hoarded. It's meant to ripple. The most powerful legacies were born not from selfishness but from contribution. Andrew Carnegie built libraries for generations he would never meet. Thomas Edison gave the world light so others could create their own futures. Abraham Lincoln gave a nation its spine back. Oprah Winfrey gave a voice to millions who were unheard. That is the final evolution of becoming. When your strength is so deep, it builds strength in others. That is where immortality begins. Not in stone. Not in statues. But in the fire you pass on. This is why playing small is not just a mistake. It's a tragedy. Because inside you is something that could outlive you. Something that could build, lift, inspire. And all it asks is that you stop wanting and start becoming. So, who are you becoming? Not in the eyes of the world, but in the silence of your own heart. Are you becoming stronger, sharper, wiser, more disciplined, more relentless? Or are you waiting for someone to hand you what you haven't earned yet? The world is waiting for no one. Time moves with or without you. But the one who becomes, time bows to them. History bends for them. Legacy makes room for them. Your story is not finished. It is being written with every breath you take. Every decision is a line. Every sacrifice is a paragraph. Every victory is a chapter. The question is, will your story end with regret or with a roar? The day will come when you stand face to face with your own reflection, not the version that dreams, but the version that became. You will look into the eyes of the person you built through years of fire. And in that moment, you will understand that everything was worth it. Every night alone. Every failure. Every scar. Every fall. Every rise. Because you won't just have what you wanted. You will have become something so much greater than what you ever imagined. And that is the real reward. Not the money. Not the fame. Not the applause. It's the unshakable truth of knowing that you became the storm. This is your time. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now, the fire is already inside you. The world will not give you your dream. It will give you exactly who you become. So become relentless. Become unbreakable. Become unstoppable. Become the person who can hold the crown they keep dreaming about. Become the one who rises while others sleep. Become the one the storm fears. Because at the end of it all, you don't get what you want. You get what you become.